There's an interesting read. Again, I'm not promoting in particular legal authors. What I'm just saying is that there's, just as we go into dictionaries to find the words, we're of course doing our utmost to do our due diligence. We're reading out of law books, but there is truth to be found, and sometimes you have to dig a little deep. There was a book written by John MacArthur uh, from the United States. It's called Slave, and what the main purpose, at least I believe, the book was going down, was to understand that when the translators of the King James Bible were translating certain words, sometimes they may have chose a word that was a little bit too general and not as specific as maybe the Greek word would have been translated. So when you look through the New Testament, we'll find that the word servant is injected in many places. But when you really look at the word that was supposed to be there in Greek, doulos, it really only pointed to one meaning, which was slave. And a slave would never have you confused with a servant, because there are other meanings, in fact, many meanings, or many other words that are used for the word servant in Greek. But slave only has one word. So therefore, because it was an unpalatable term, especially at the day and age that it was being translated, people would not have enjoyed to think of themselves as a slave in any manner. But remember, the Creator owns His creation, so you really are His slave in essence. You're His property, and you're not to be out there moonlighting or being hired by another deity or authority, especially since the pagan side, opposite to God, are all involved with Satan and his legal titles and gods and goddesses. So when we look at the term slave, a slave is owned, a servant is hired. And there's where you lead into the legal world on hireling, which means prostitute. It also means idolater. Very hard for people to probably comprehend that, but even the word idolism means false reasoning. So the Bible was warning about idolatry, things sacrificed to idols. Many were taking this only literally as maybe meat sacrifices, but it was based on in a manner of giving homage to something that you were not supposed to be involved in. So we unfortunately may not want to know that the word idolater is hired servant wages, and then it'll say see larceny, which is theft. It's also a person who worships an idol, and unfortunately, when you end up in a position where you owe a fee in the legal system, it is not by chance you end up in one of their Kirk churches with the bad bench seating, there to pay for your idolatrous activities to who? The one who is called your worship. Isn't it interesting that that would be there and so obvious in front of us, but we didn't see it? People will tell me that they're not even religious. They say, oh, I don't even believe in God, I'm an atheist. I said, well, then why are you, when you're getting these tickets and you're always in the court, why are you attending church? Because that was one of the earlier meanings for court, was a church. So it was a kirk, and that's basically the simple truth of it. So hopefully you'll have eyes to see and ears to hear.